Hello again. This is Rick Harvey, the Creative Warrior, and this is another of the short video series on mindful awareness practices. And this one may seem a little bit ironic in its way because it is about arising thoughts, which is something that we generally in mindful awareness practices are observing and kind of trying to move back to our object, whatever it is, an object being something that we're choosing to focus on during the mindful awareness practice. The thought pops up, and then we are lost down a rabbit hole of a thought. And then we find ourselves sometime later having been deep in this thought. And so, this is about, this video is about thoughts as a source of um, objects for mindful awareness. So, let me show you the graphic. So one of the things that really is consistent about mindful awareness practices is that they are based on things that are easily accessible. The breath we've talked about, the senses we've talked about, the body we've talked about, and thoughts are always coming up. So thoughts become, if we can observe them the right way, they become a very convenient way of building mindful awareness and concentration skill. This is a type of mindful awareness practice that focuses on arising thoughts. And that can focus on the quality, the nature, are they pleasant, they're neutral, they're unpleasant. So we've got the different feelings that they could bring up. Is it something that we are grasping onto, that we want to hold on to? Is it something that we are trying to push away? Is it something that we are judging? Is it a judging thought? All those are qualities about the thought that we can observe with mindful awareness. How often is the same thought coming? This is something that can happen very consistently in mindful awareness practices, and a thought will keep coming up. We'll go back to our object, whatever it is, the breath, and then the thought will come up. So is it coming over and over again? How often are the thoughts changing? Is it a balloon, but it's a different kind of balloon type of thing? It's just different types of thoughts coming up. How does observing the thoughts feel different from being in the thought? That's a good one to understand or to build awareness or insight about. In that, thoughts, we tend to feel like we're inside of them. And once we pull back and observe them and they become our object of mindful awareness, we're not so emotionally involved in being in the thought, we're actually outside of it. It's kind of like a theater dynamic. The thought is on the stage, and then the observation is in the seats watching the thought. And there's even a place where we can go outside of the theater and observe the observation. So in this setting, you're outside of the theater and you're realizing that the observation is going on and the thought is going on. The thought is on the stage. So it's just a way of separating out from the thought and observing it and then observing the observation. And then there's beginning, middle, and end of a thought. If you can do that, um, I've found it's worked well for me as I'm building a response approach to things that are challenging to me. It's very easy to react in anger or in sadness. Responding is just observing how the reactions are rising. And this is what's going on here. Is it at the beginning, the middle, and the end, and how it's arising? So those are things that we can do with thoughts as they arise, and they can become our mindful awareness practice. So observation, awareness, mindfulness, big surprise. Observing thoughts often quiets them. If you choose to focus on observing thoughts in mindful awareness, a lot of times your mind will be surprisingly quiet. But it's something that you can do on the fly in another object meditation, or you can just make that your observation and see how it feels to observe whether thoughts are arising or not. Whatever comes up, observe with awareness and compassion. I appreciate you joining me for this mindful awareness short video about thoughts, and I look forward to sharing the next one. This is Rick Harvey, the Creative Warrior.